Kathryn Turner, it's lovely to have you here with me today. Now, just to remind you, you know this, but you played your first game for Thunder when you were just 15 years old. It was live on TV. You've been part of all three of Thunder's grand final wins in 2012, 2014 and 2019. You were vice-captain to Emma Dovey's captain. You signed, I think, for your 11th season with the team in 2020. Obviously, that season didn't go all the way through. And I asked you on the Manchester Thunder podcast if you would be back for the 2022 season. And you said, watch this space. Are you coming back for the 2022 season?
Unfortunately, I've decided not to come back. I did feel it was kind of my time to step away from the sport, and I've entered a new chapter in my life now, especially with Rosie coming along. So I think the focus for me now is going to be family moving forward.
So a huge decision for you, and if I'm honest, totally gutting for the team and for the side. How did you come to that decision?
Well, I've been thinking about it for a little while. I kind of felt my netball career was naturally coming to an end. I've been playing netball for so long now, and it was my 11th season at Thunder, the last season, and yeah, I just kind of felt the time was right. And then obviously having Rosie, it kind of made me want to focus on family life and enter that new chapter, really.
So this has turned into a retirement interview. So let's take you back to that first game with Thunder. You're 15 years old. It's live on Sky Sports. How does that feel?
Yeah, gosh, it feels like a lifetime ago now, 15 years old. But yeah, I just remember being really excited and really nervous, obviously, being on live TV and also down at Bath, which is always like a really tough venue to go to anyway. But yeah, I was just really nervous and just tried to hook in with teammates around me, and they really supported me through that. And also Mike Greenwood, who was the coach at the time, he was always really supportive and really keen to push me, and I'll forever be grateful to Mike for pushing me really hard and giving me that opportunity.
Can you remember who you were on court with for that game?
Oh, I think there was Kerry and likes of Emma, obviously she's been there for forever, and also Karen as well, Karen Gregg, who then became my coach later on in my career. So yeah, it was great that there was people back there then who I kind of like saw my netball journey through.
It certainly seems like Thunder, its pathway, its under 21s, is a family. We talk about the Thunder family, but you're mentioning players there that are still playing for the franchise now. Mm-hmm. Have they been instrumental in your career? Yeah,
absolutely. They've been there right from the start, and they're not just teammates, they're also like best friends, and friends I'll kind of keep for life, really. So yeah, it'll be strange like being away from them, but they've just been there the whole time, and it's great. Like Thunder's got that family unit, family ethos about them, but there's still, there's those loyal players who do stick around for a long time, and that's because it's a lovely environment to be a part of.
Let's talk then about your career highlights. Can you pinpoint a couple of moments from your time with Thunder that have really stood out?
Yes, so one of my best memories will probably be that final. It was an up and down game from the start, really. We went 6 down, I think it was. A bit of a bumpy start, but then once we got into it, it was a really good game. And in the end, we came out with the win. So yeah, it's a memory I'll never forget, really, having all the Thunder fans there in the Copper Box Arena. I had a lot of family there that day as well, so it was really special.
And it turns out you went out on a bit of a highlight then, because that was the last full season that you played with Thunder. I've got to say, as a fan, watching that finals was an absolute roller coaster. Did you settle in that game as a team, do you think?
I don't think we did really, because it seemed to be a game of two halves. So every time we were at one end with a certain umpire, we'd do really well, and then the other end of the court we didn't do as well. So I think we were fortunate in the end that we ended up on the side where the umpire was kind of in our favour, and we were able to play like the netball we knew we could, and eventually take the win.
You've always come across as a very serene player. When I've watched you either live or on Sky Sports, you just are so fluid and you look so chilled out. Is that the case, or is there a lot going on inside?
Yeah, inside it's definitely not the case. I do get very nervous, but I suppose the years of experience that I've gained playing netball through club as well as Thunder, I've been able to kind of internalise those nerves and use that energy putting that into my performance, so I can still play well.
How did you first get into Thunder?
It was a long time ago now, but it was just, I started netball in primary school, and then I joined a club, and just from there really I just kind of progressed through the pathway that was then, and then the opportunity came around to play for Northern Thunder, which they were known then, and that's kind of where it all started. A lot is down to Mike Greenwood really, having him around at Oldham Netball, giving me that opportunity and encouraging me to go for Thunder trials, and that's kind of where I started.
Let's talk about the players around you, because I've had a couple of comments. So Laura Malcolm says, Kathryn's passing is superb and so quick. And Emma Dovey says, she doesn't even look like she's trying. Her game is so beautiful. And I would agree with that, because when I watch you play, you're so serene and you don't really look like you're putting in loads and loads of effort to move as well as you do down the court. Are those things you've worked and worked out? Your passing, for instance, have you worked at that?
I think it goes back from the early days of when I started playing netball. I had to practice a lot outside of training as well as during training. So yeah, I mean, I'd spend hours on end just passing a ball against a wall, hitting a mark on the wall, making sure I was hitting that mark every time. And I think that's why I got so good at passing really. And there was one point where we actually got tested against passing during the old system. So you had to do like a certain number of passes in a certain amount of time. So yeah, I think just putting the practice into that then made me focus on my passing a lot more.
Did you smash that?
I did pretty well at that, yeah.
Were you the best in the team? Were you better than Laura? Were you better than Emma? Be honest.
Oh, I don't think they were in the same, it was a different setup, so they were in the older group back
That's
then.
very generous of you to say that. Really, you're thinking, yeah, I did, totally did. So how has netball helped you be a mum? You know, are you really good at catching things when they get dropped?
I mean, yeah, I'm quite good at that. To be honest, at the moment, it's a bit of a nightmare trying to give her a bottle, because she gets very distracted quite easily. She's at a bit of an awkward age. So I give her the top of the bottle to play with while she's feeding, and every now and again she'll throw it, so I'll have to quickly try and catch it to keep her, like, so she can carry on feeding. But yeah, I mean, I suppose netball's taught me to be really organised as well. Like, I've had to organise my time in terms of like work or school, and then coming to play netball as well, and I've definitely taken that through with me into my career and also into my personal life really.
And what about the times in your career that have been more difficult? Because no doubt those times spurred you on and got you to where you were in 2019. But have there been moments where you've really struggled with netball and sort of thought, you know, I don't know if I can keep going with this?
Yeah, there's been quite a few times, to be honest. Like I said, I've had a really long career, and there has been some really high highs and then some really low lows as well. And I remember there's been countless times where I've been on the phone to my mum or to Tom, my husband, just crying my eyes out on the way home from training, just saying I don't want to do it anymore. Like, I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm not getting picked, or I'm sat on the bench again, even though I've been playing really well in training. So there was some times where it was really like difficult and really frustrating. But I think I just kind of took a step back and then try to focus on what I needed to do in order to get that court time, and really tried to just put that into practice and then bide my time really. I think in the end I did get a really big opportunity when Helen went over to Australia.
When Helen Houseby left to go to Australia? Yes,
and at that point that's when I was given the opportunity to kind of be playing on a more regular basis, and I think I took my opportunity at that point, and then from then on I was lucky enough to play regularly. So yeah, it's not always been like happy times. With netball there has been some lows as well.
How do you ride that storm though? Because when it doesn't feel like it's going your way, when you're spending time on the bench, that is actually really tough, I imagine, to keep putting in 100% at the training sessions. You know, what is your grit that keeps you going?
I suppose just the love of the game, really, and the teammates that I had around me at the time. Like, I've played in like different kind of groups of people over the years, but at each time there was always a really strong connection with the team, and we had a really good kind of team ethic, and we wanted to work hard for each other and win for Thunder. So I think that got me through a lot of the time.
And why has Thunder been the team for you? Because you've stayed.
Yeah, I have stayed loyal. I think just the whole kind of ethic and, you know, like what Thunder stands for is just kind of what I'm all about as well. And the players that are around there, and the coaches and the staff and everyone behind the scenes as well, we are really one big family, and I've just never wanted to leave.
Are the highs worth it?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you persevere with something for long enough, it will come good in the end. And I think I did get my happy ending really with that grand final win.
Tell me though about getting your hands on that trophy in 2019. What did that actually feel like?
Yeah, it was really emotional, really. I think it was everything that I'd been working towards for quite a number of years. Being there with my family as well, it was really, it was an amazing day.
And tell me about the Thunder family then, because you've said how important that is. And the girls came to your wedding, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
So what was it like having a load of 6-footers rock up at your wedding?
Oh, it was so much fun. Like, it was really funny on the day. A lot of my husband's guests were like his work friends. So they were all kind of like mingling and stuff, and when the netball girls walked in, they just kind of just looked over and they were like, oh my God, who are these tall women and why are they all so amazing? Like, they were all like pretty blown away really. But I always love it when we go on nights out with the netball girls, because we can all get our heels on and all be tall together.
Let's talk about the fans, because Thunder players always talk about the fans as the 8th player, as the extra player on the team. What would you like to say to the fans that do spur you through those games?
Yeah, I mean, the fans are just amazing. Like, we've always had a really strong fan base. We've been very lucky, and that's just kind of grown and grown over the years. They're just so loud. When we used to play in Wright Robinson, I remember it was just deafening at some points when the crowd were cheering, and now at the new venue of Bellevue, it's great that the attendance is improving every single match, and the atmosphere is just incredible, especially with the drum as well, which the opposition absolutely hate, because they just absolutely bang it until, you know, everyone's eardrums are bleeding. But yeah, it's just an amazing atmosphere, and they really do carry the team through. It is like the 8th player, like you said. They have got us over the line on a number of occasions, really.
What about watching as a fan though? Because in 2021, you've been doing that probably with Rosie as well at home. What's it like? Do you have itchy feet? Do you want to be on that court?
Yeah, I mean, the coverage has been amazing really recently, especially during COVID in the last year. It's just kind of like grown and grown. So it's on YouTube now, it's on Sky as well. And yeah, I think it's been good this year actually, not playing, because I've been able to watch more of the games, and it's gotten me through a lot of the night feeds with Rosie as well, because I had her at the start of Feb, which was when the season started. So I've been able to kind of closely follow the matches whilst feeding Rosie at the same time. So that's been really nice. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of enjoy it really. I try not to, because it's quite intense when you're playing. It's a lot different to when you're watching. So I can just relax and enjoy it a lot more now.
What's the next step for you?
In terms of netball, or in terms of, well, I don't know really. I'm just kind of loving family life at the moment. I go back to work in March next year, so I'm just going to kind of enjoy the time that I've got with Rosie now up until then, and then it'll be a completely different ball game, I suppose, going back to work and then having to look after Rosie as well. But I'm hoping at some point in the future I will go back to some sort of netball, whether it's club or just kind of a local league. Can you imagine walking into a local league and just imagine if you walked on with my team and I'll be like, oh, it's Kathryn Turner, she's single league goal attack. I mean, there's quite a big difference in the standard there. Yeah.
Will you be able to play netball just for fun?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it is a great way to keep fit and to socialise as well. So it'll be nice for me to kind of have a little break from Rosie as well, because it can be quite intense sometimes, and with work as well. So it'll be good to have that kind of escape. But it might not be netball, it might be something else. We'll just have to see.
I'll tell you what, I'll make you a space on my team. How's that?
Sounds
I will
good.
make you a space. Couple of final questions to ask you. What won't you miss about netball?
I definitely won't miss the travelling. I think that's always been the difficult kind of side of playing netball. Just the distance where I live and where Thunder train, that's always been a bit of a drag, kind of getting to training and then back late at night and then up early for work. So I won't miss that side of things, and I won't miss the fitness testing and that side as well. When Karen says, "Oh, go and line up on the baseline," I definitely won't miss that. But there are a lot of things that I will miss.
And what are they?
Well, definitely all the girls. I'll really miss them. I'll miss the coaches, all the support staff, the whole Thunder family. But definitely be coming to watch some games in the future. I still talk to a lot of the girls now, and we meet up every now and again and have a little games night and do little fun things. So yeah, I think even though I am taking a step back from netball, it's always going to be a part of my life.
And you've talked about those people that were really important in your career coming through, that continue to support you. If you could say one thing or a couple of things to the support staff, to the management, what would it be?
It's really hard, really, just to say one thing. But yeah, I suppose just really thank you for the opportunities that you've given me. And I don't know, I just miss it, really.
Well, look, I have absolutely loved watching you play, which I've done for a long time now. Thunder are really going to miss you on the court. But of course, we wish you the very best of luck for the future.
Thank you very much.